Jai Hind. Myself Dr. Santosh Kumar Upadhyay, Associate Professor in CSE Department, Ajay Kumar Garg, Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Today I am here to discuss very important topic of computer network. The subject code is BCS 603 as per the AKTU curriculum, and I am here to discuss the unit 1, a very special and very important topic, that is the OSI layers known as ISO-OSI Reference Model. As we know that in computer network, all the protocols, rules, guidelines, methodology, framework, layout, concept, terminologies are defined in terms of OSI layers, and basically this is the open system interface reference model that have 7 layers. These layers these layers control the policies and the protocol at the different level, at different hierarchy in the computer network. Whenever a sender transmit a particular message to destination, to receiver, then all these layers have some predefined set of functionalities or the services. So, this is established in 1947. This is the international standards organization ISO. ISO proposed these 7 layers basically. This is a multinational body dedicated to the worldwide agreement on international standards. As we know that as the engineering students, as a science student, we know that ISO has the greater impact and greater role in defining the different standard in different subject area, different domain. So, an ISO standard that cover all aspect of computer network communication is the open system interconnection, that is the OSI model. OSI means open system interconnection. Okay. It was first introduced in late 1970s. So, these are the layers, 7 layers that are very important. When we talk about at the ground level, ground means where the data leave your side, your network, and propagate through some communication channel, communication medium, that may be wired, that may be wireless, that may be satellite communication. In raw form, raw means in some signal form, either in electrical signal or in optical signal form or in digital signal form to the receiver side. That means after physical layer, a physical layer deal with all the protocol, standard, methodology that are needed to transmit the raw data through a particular communication medium. That communication may be guided or unguided. Guided means wired communications like twisted pair, like fiber optics, like coaxial cable. These are the guided medium through which your raw data propagate in the form of some signal, either in electronic signal, digital signal, or in this optical signal in laser form. So, this data or information can travel either in guided medium, through the guided medium, or unguided like satellite communication, okay, Bluetooth, infrared, all these are known as unguided medium. So, this is why this physical layer work as the ground. Okay. Then there is a data link layer. On top of physical, there is a data link layer. Then on data link layer, there is a network layer. Then on network, there is a transport layer. And upon the transport, there is a session layer. And then presentation layer. And finally, on the top, there is the application layer. Okay. Application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, physical layer. These are the 7 layers that are very important to defining the different standard, different protocol, different concept of the data communication in computer network. Okay. Let us see one by one what are the roles, what are their roles, their responsibilities, what are their services that is provided by these layers. And one most important thing, as we know that this is the layered architecture, a layered system. When we talk about the layered system, a layered architecture, then this will be very clear that in layered system, things are the work are very clearly defined. Okay. And each and there is a particular sequence of each and every layer. That means we cannot shuffle these layers. No. When we talk about the OSI layer, then you should remember, you should know this order only. Okay. This application cannot lie in between some here transport or network layer in the place of. Okay. A physical layer does not come on this session layer. That means we cannot shuffle these layers. Each and every layer has their own position, their own order, as well as well defined functionalities and the services. Okay. This is the application on top. That means whenever, just by taking some example, I try to, so application means this is very close to the sender application. Okay. Like whenever we want to send some message to the receiver, then first of all we have to generate the message. No? So this generation of message, creation of content is done by the application layer. There are the number of protocols, number of standard that work on the application layer, like FTP. If you want to transfer file from source to destination, so file transfer protocol FTP that work here. If you want to send a message from sender to receiver, there is a protocol known as SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Okay, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. That means what? We have to simply apply this protocol at the application layer to generate the email for transmission to the receiver side. Okay. There is some other protocol like HTTP. What is the HTTP? Everyone know, I think. If you are using at least one web page from the internet, then you know the this HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is also a protocol that work at the application layer. Okay. There is some other protocol like DNS, Domain Name System, that also work on the application layer. There is other protocol like IMAP and POP3, Post Office Protocol, POP3. So basically, when we are transmitting the mail from sender to receiver, then there are the 3 kind of protocol that work. At the sender side, to create the content and for sending purpose, there is a means protocol known as SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Simple Mail Transfer Protocol means the protocol which create the content of the mail and facilitate the sender to send that particular mail to the server, through the server toward receiver. So SMTP work at the sender side for sending the mail. Okay. And there is the counterpart known as the POP3 and IMAP. These two work for receiving the mail at where? At the receiver side. Okay. So, similarly, there is some other protocol like HTTPS, secure version of hypertext transfer protocol. So, there is a number of protocols, FTP, SMTP, POP3, DNS, IMAP, okay, that work at the application layer. So, what is the work of application? Application is just close to the particular sender application. Okay. So, sender when creates some message, so that with the help of application layer, there is some protocol that assist for creating the content for transmission. Okay. Then after application, whenever the message created at the sender side with the help of application, then that propagate, that traversed, then presentation layer start their work. Presentation means how to present, how to represent the data. So, this presentation layer basically deal with the compression of the message and encryption, okay, encoding for providing the security. Okay. So, this presentation layer work to compress the data, to encode the data, then session layer come. After presenting the data, then the session layer, the work of session layer is to establish the dialog box between sender and receiver. Okay. So, session, we know that whenever we are using some website or application, then if we leave unnoticed for a long period of time, for a 1 or 2 minutes hardly, for security reason, the session expired. Okay. The message that pop up as session expired. So, session means that connection, dialog box that is established between sender and receiver. So, that work is done by the session layer. Then transport layer. Transport layer is the next that have the functionality like to transport the message. Okay. To transport the message or the content to the receiver side. So, basically transport provide point to point, process to process communication, because that at the sender side number of application, number of process are running. FTP may be running, some SMTP protocol may be running. So, number of protocol, number of process are running at the sender, the same at the receiver side. Number of process are running at the receiver side also. So, this transport ensure process to process communication. That means, if process P1 generates some message at the sender side, then the respective or corresponding process at the receiver side will receive that message. This is ensured by the transport. The network layer basically source to destination communication uses the IP addresses. That means, from the sender network, that ensure that from the sender network IP, then receiver IP. Okay, that your message or data is transmitted from the sender side to the receiver side. Then data link layer that have the some functionalities like that deliver the data at the physical machine by using the physical address, that is known as MAC address, 48-bit MAC address, and some other functionality like error correction, error detection, flow control, congestion control, all these are done by this. Then the physical layer. Physical means I have already told you, which deal about the physical interconnection, how the cable are set up, how the topologies are topologies are the established like ring, star or whatever. So, this is the work. What is the data rate, what is the propagation delay, what is the transmission delay of the message of the system, all these are deal by the physical layer. Layer 1, that is the physical layer. Okay. Let us see. The main function of the physical layer are the bit synchronization, then bit rate control, then physical topologies, then the transmission mode. These are the some basic functionalities or the services provided by the physical layer. Bit synchronization means, because after physical layer the data is coded on some line signal like in laser form or some a digital form, okay, line encode, that is known as the line encoding. So, that is governed by this particular physical layer to synchronize where the particular message end and where it start, okay, the bit synchronization basically. So, here the bit stuffing concept is used, bit stuffing, bit rate control, what should be the rate, what should be the speed of that bit transmission, okay. The physical layer also define the transmission rate, a number of bit per second, this is also governed by the physical layer. Then the physical topologies, physical layer specify how the different devices or node are arranged in a network, bus, star or mesh topologies. Then the transmission mode, okay. Transmission mode, basically there are the three kind of transmission mode, half duplex, simplex, half duplex and full duplex, okay. There are the three kind of transmission mode. Simplex means only one side communication is permitted, that means sender always can send only data, that cannot receive the data, and receiver only can receive the data, okay. Like broadcasting of broadcasting, like TV relay, we have no option to reply, okay. They are only sending the data and we are receiving continuously. The role is fixed, sender only can send, receiver only can receive. This is kind of simplex mode. Other is the half duplex. Half duplex means at a time only sender can send, receiver can listen the data, but on the other time, next time the role may be reverse. Now sender may receive the data and receiver may send the data, okay. So sender have both role, that have the capability to send or receive, but at a time only one, either can send or can receive the data, okay. And full duplex means at the same time sender can send and can receive the data, sender can send and receive both at the same time, okay. So layer 2 data link layer, basically a framing, physical addressing, error control, flow control, access control, okay. So basically I have used one word bit stuffing in previous, so that is not work of physical layer, basically that is work of data link layer in framing. That means when the message is coming from the application layer, that is divided into different frames, okay. And the physical address, like MAC address is decided by here. Error control, if there is some error in the message or data, that can be rectified here. Flow control means this is the, we know that there is a speed mismatch between sender and receiver. Sender may have the fast speed, receiver may have the slow speed to receive the data. So there is a synchronization between the speed, that is known as the flow control, so that data cannot be lost at the receiver end, okay. Like buffering may be provided, the sender speed may be slowed down by some mechanism. So these are the flow control mechanism that is provided by the data link layer. Access control means, what is the access control? When a single communication line is there and multiple sender or multiple devices are competing to send the message, then there should be proper mechanism to define which have the control at a particular time on the communication media to send the message. This is the media access control basically. Network layer, source to destination delivery, okay. Source to destination delivery of the message, this is ensured by this network layer. The function of the network layer is routing, routing means to decide the best path between sender and receiver. Logical addressing, to identify each device on the internetwork uniquely. Logical addressing like IPv4 and IPv6 address are used here for logical addressing, okay, to define the sender network address and receiver network address. So from sender to receiver, source to destination, delivery of message is ensured by this particular network layer. Transport layer, Transport layer is the fourth layer that have the two protocol basically here, TCP and UDP. Transmission Control Protocol TCP, UDP means User Datagram Protocol. So, these two protocols are used here basically. Most frequently these two protocols are used here at this layer. TCP is a connection oriented protocol and that provides the reliable service. There is a process of retransmission, there is a facility of acknowledgement, the data is lost or successfully received, that may be ensured, and the TCP layer. Okay. But in the UDP, there is no process, there is no provision of acknowledgement. Okay. So, these two layers and the basic functions of this transport layer, segmentation and reassembly. The message is segmented into different manageable part, and at the receiver side, that is reassemble in order to deliver that message to a particular process. Service point addressing. Okay, here the port number is used to define the process, because we know that this is the end-to-end delivery process, process to process delivery of the message. So, the process is defined by the port number, like FTP have the port number 25. Similarly, HTTP is a process that have the port number 80. The number of ports are there, and that define the port or process. Service provided connection oriented like TCP, connection less like UDP. Connection oriented means there is a three phase. First, connection is established by the three-way handshake, then data will be transferred, and in third phase the connection will be terminated. In the connectionless, there is no connection establishment. Data, whenever the sender has the data, that can send the data. Okay. Then next, layer 5, session layer. So, session layer, the basic function of the session layer to establish the dialog box, session establishment, maintenance and termination. So, there will be establishment of session, then the session is maintained, and if there is some requirement, that may be there will be maintenance and the termination of session of the work. So, that some port or some should not be left unnoticed. Synchronization, dialog controller. Okay. Presentation layer, when we talk about the presentation, the functions of the presentation layer are the translation, encryption, decryption. To provide the security, the message is not sent in the plain text, that is sent in the cipher text, that means after encoding, after using the different kind of encryption techniques. Compression, the data, if there is a large data, that should be compressed first, then that may be forwarded to the other layers. Application layer, this is very close to the user, sender or receiver. So, the function of the application layer are network virtual terminal, FTM, file transfer access and management, mail service, directory service like DNS, domain name system, okay, hypertext text transfer protocol, HTTP, FTP, file transfer protocol, telnet, okay, DNS, domain name systems. The number of works are there that basically support the sender to create the content and to send that content on the receiver side. Okay. So, thank you, and we have discussed here the first lecture that is very important, that was very important basically, and that is the OSI layers.